Hey, what's up, Ziggy? Just woke up. Good morning. Good morning to you as well. What's going on? Did you get a notification? That's good. Something weird going on the past couple days with YouTube. I don't know what the deal is. I forgot to put my knee brace on, but I think it'll be all right. Way too cold outside today, so figured I'd switch it up. Stay in the warm house for a change. Depends how bad you hurt your knee. Well, it has been great. It was last Thursday, I suppose that 10 days ago, and it's still swollen, and I can't really. I mean, it kind of loosens up throughout the day, but like right there is about like right about there is about as much as I can go without. Like I can go a little bit past it, but that's when it starts. The inside, I can start feeling some pain. But like bending down, if I were to like squat down and try to like pick something up, definitely not able to do that currently. Do me a favor if you don't mind, hit the like button on the video, press that share button. Try to get some people in here on this chilly Sunday morning. Like, did your knee bend? Did it pop? How'd you hurt it again? Playing basketball. It didn't pop, luckily. I didn't hear or feel a pop, but I did feel, I mean, feeling here kind of the same, but I felt a crack. Um, I was playing basketball, driving to the basket, and it just crumbled. But yesterday, it's kind of a dud stream, unfortunately. Yesterday I did the random club challenge, and at the end of that, me and Phil from McGolfin TV were the only people in there hanging out, and I was trying to take some fuller swings with my pitching wedge, which actually felt all right, but it is a little bit more sore this morning, probably because of that. But I also played uh, like 52 holes Thursday and Friday, and then yesterday was just 18. I do have a video coming out at 12 o'clock. Whether I'll be live during that or not, I don't know. But kind of a quick how-to video about using or looking for, avoiding, how to find colliders on GS Pro. I mean, UNC drum play. When I tell you that man is country, he's country. But y'all are about the same height. Well, speak of the devil. All you have to do is call him a hillbilly, and he gets a notification sent to his phone like a bat signal. American. You know, for the most part, I've been pulling a lot of putts. I would say probably like 75% of my putts on square shows a pull. And even just like these first couple putts so far, I have been missing left. Before, my miss used to be a push. Maybe square is. Square's picking them up. I'm going to try to keep the putter face a little more square. That's what happens though when you're a plus 5 handicap. I honestly think it's happened before, the best that I can tell. Honestly, I think I've been uh, going live too much and posting kind of frequently. I think I may be somewhat labeled as like temporary spam in a YouTube system, which would explain the notifications not going out sometimes, them not pushing any of these lives. And even yesterday, McGolfin TV, Phil from over there, said the same thing on like the homepage for my live stream yesterday, and it's still the same on mine. It just shows, instead of my thumbnail that I did, it just shows uh, like a gray box. Something going on. Realistically, I probably should have not gone live today, but is what it is. I was feeling a little cheeky, as they call it, with the title. Do you use different clubs between putting mat when you golf in your garage? No. I mean, obviously, I just use my putter in here. Yesterday was the only exception. I used, it was actually my dad's old putter when I did that random club challenge, so I hit a couple fuller swings with that putter just so I didn't break mine. But no, I use the same, like this is the same putter I use outside, and obviously I'm not hitting shots here. So as far as clubs. Big news though. I have 5 new pairs of heavy-duty wool socks getting delivered today from Amazon, which I'm pretty excited about. It's currently 20 degrees outside with the real feel of 14 degrees. So, despite being in the garage and kind of out of the elements, the concrete stays really cold. You can feel it with your feet. How do you have almost the same amount of videos than subs? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I've been posting videos for like 2.5 years, but a lot of the videos that show, like on like my profile, or whatever, a lot of those are the shorts, YouTube shorts that gets counted in there too. So I probably have a few hundred YouTube shorts that I've posted. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, Ziggy. Probably a bad thing. Probably goes to show that people don't really like the videos that much. Aren't all my videos shorts? Depends which ones you're talking about. This one you can only see my feet. This one I probably look tall in. These are actually size 15 Crocs, believe it or not. My height, my height is like Seadrum's handicap. It's a fugazi. No one knows what's actually real and what's fake. It's all a simulation. Bro, it looks like a 6 foot Giga Chad. Anyone see? Anyone a NBA fan? See that crazy trade that happened last night at like midnight? Luka Doncic to the Lakers in exchange for Anthony Davis. Essentially, there's a few other players, and they got the Mavs got a first round pick out of it, like 2029. But pretty crazy trade, kind of out of nowhere, or definitely out of nowhere. And I think, yeah, he traded AD. I don't know. I think very, very poor move on the Mavs' part. But what do I know? Yeah, you didn't see that, Ziggy? I mean, Luka's only 25. I looked at the contracts. He only has, I think, one more year, and then he has like a player option as far as his contract. I think AD has another like 4 years. So that factors into where people do that in the NFL too. If you have like you're on your last year of your contract, they trade you for like a third round pick. Um, but the fact that Luka's 25 and AD's like, I don't know, 31, 32, something like that. Like, assumingly, Luka's going to be an all-star caliber player for the next decade, and whether AD's even in the league for another 5 or 10 years, who knows? Hate the Chiefs. Pretty sure that stupid Pro Bowl games that they changed it to. I'm pretty sure that's on today, isn't it? They play like flag football and like skills challenges now because they don't want anyone to get hurt. Yeah, it's today at 3 p.m. The Pro Bowl games, that is. Why did they have to win the Super Bowl? Well, they haven't yet. The Super Bowl's next weekend. Hopefully they don't. I mean, granted, I don't really want to see either team win, but I'd rather have Chiefs have been winning too much. Rather have the Eagles win, I guess. I was pulling for the Bills. I want the Bills to make it to the Super Bowl and win. Yeah, NFC versus AFC. Yeah, that's how it always is. But they changed it from uh it's been a few years now. They changed it. It used to be like an actual game and they would still do like the skills challenge. Back in the day, those were pretty fun to watch. And then they used to do an actual like full tackle game. They would still go kind of easy. Besides who was that one dude? Was it like Sean Taylor or something lit up the kicker in the Pro Bowl game and just destroyed him? But now they switched to they literally play flag football, which people have been complaining about TGL. I think these Pro Bowl games may be even worse to watch than the TGL. Oh, so they won against the Bills to get to the NFL, bro. I'm so slow. I mean, Super Bowl, yeah, yeah. So last weekend it was the conference championship games. So it was AFC championship game was the Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl, and the NFC was Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles. So Eagles won and the Chiefs won. So Super Bowl is next week. The Pro Bowl is always the week before. They give them a week in between to prepare for the Super Bowl. You got the Chiefs. I mean Eagles. Which one is it? Last time I checked, I think it was last time I was in here, maybe like 4 or 5 days ago. They had I don't know if the betting lines have changed at all, but they had the Chiefs favored by a point and a half. Guess we can look at that. Let's see. Yeah, it's still 1.5. So Vegas and the betting odds think that all things equal, the Chiefs are going to end up winning if you're going to bet money on it by a point and a half or more. Which really isn't much. I mean, that's pretty much a toss up. That's like a 50-50 game. That's not even it's a half a field goal. So, I mean, the good news is I'm definitely going to watch, kind of begrudgingly, but they are pretty two kind of juggernaut, equally matched teams. So I'm expecting at least a good game. It should be pretty close and kind of a toss up between the two, but rest follow the Chiefs on every platform. I know that's what people have been saying. I don't know. You could probably say that about a lot of teams. It does seem like they've been getting calls, but people used to say that about the Patriots too, and Patriots with cheating and all that stuff. So I don't know. I've been kind of on the flip side of that as a Patriots fan. So what's up, Panda? Brother Mustard? What does that mean? Hit the like button for me on the video if you would be so kind. You gotta listen to some music right now because you're losing it. That sucks. What are you gonna listen to? Do I think the 49ers should have won? I don't know. I wish they would have won. I mean, I'm a diehard Patriots fan and I watch a lot of football, but I'm far from a football aficionado. So I am though, at least for this stream, a +5 handicap. You're the problem? How many Super Bowls did the Patriots win? 7, I believe, right? Or does Brady have 7 rings? So it was 6 for the with the Patriots. You should know that, but I mean, honestly, spoken like a true oh, that's the song name? Spoken like a true spoiled NFL fan. I don't even know. I think it's 6 or 7 though. Patriots won 6 Super Bowls. That's what it was. So 6, and I believe Belichick has one on his own, and then Brady won the one with Tampa. So he's got 7 rings, which is insane. I saw a quote the other day. Belichick said, I don't know if he was kidding or not, but he said that they should change the Lombardi Trophy to the Brady Trophy because he has 7 of them, which actually isn't a terrible point. But I don't know if they can do that as far as like traditions go. Morgan Wallen, I like some of his songs. Patriots are not that good now. You can tell bad. Because they won a lot of Super Bowls. Yeah, I mean they were with Brady, Belichick, Gronk, Edelman, everyone else, Randy Moss for a little bit. I mean they went on a literally a 20-year run, and like those Super Bowls against like the Giants, the Eagles, could have easily been a couple more. They could have lost some too, like that one against uh, the Seahawks where they threw it on the goal line and Malcolm Butler picked it off instead of giving it to Marshawn Lynch. Same thing with the Falcons when they came back from 28-3. So only if Gronk didn't leave, yeah, I mean Gronk was a part of it, but more so if only Brady didn't leave, probably could have got 1 or 2 more Super Bowls. I just hope. I was thinking Drake May is a Super Bowl or not a Super Bowl, a Pro Bowl alternate. Same thing happened to Mac Jones his rookie year, and then he crapped the bed and fell off really hard. So I hope this isn't going to turn out the same thing with Drake May being a Pro Bowl alternate his rookie season, and then we have a new quarterback in another year or two. We do have Joe Milton though as a backup, and that dude is an absolute monster. Why did he go to Tampa? Who were all in the Hall of Fame? Um, I don't know. There's hundreds of players in the Hall of Fame. Just they get voted on every single year. Um, Allegedly, he went to Tampa. He kind of got driven out by. Um, there's never been like a 100% set the record straight type of thing, but seems like he was like a second son to Kraft, Robert Kraft, the owner of the team, and apparently there was a multi-year slow process of a falling out between Belichick and Brady, and essentially Belichick didn't want Brady anymore, so he basically forced him out of town. So Brady left. which will go down in the history of the NFL as one of the dumbest, worst, most petty decisions ever. But that's what happens when you drive out literally the greatest of all time quarterback. You just drive him out of town and let him go. He goes to a new team and wins the Super Bowl. Almost forgot. Was your question, how do you know your handicap for putting? I didn't know that was a thing. It's a good question. I was being funny. I'm not anywhere near a +5 handicap. I just figured I would I said before I was feeling cheeky, as they call it, a little bit silly this morning. So I figured I would put that up as the title and get all the golf people hot and bothered and all frustrated. But there's no such thing as I mean, you can like get like your metrics for putting and like where you rank for your handicap, whether you're like gaining strokes or losing strokes to other people. But yeah, I'm not a +5 handicap. I'm so awesome. Why'd you stick around? Mr. Whiskey, why do you keep me pulling off the shell? Got me thinking. The problem. Oh, Panda's over here. Panda's over here reciting. Was that Morgan Wallen? You got me for sure. I'm a golfer. We're still learning every day. Thought I was about to learn about handicaps for putting. No, no, no. No, I was just being funny. Handicaps though, in general, it's your. I have like a Garmin watch, so I track all my shots and all my rounds and everything on that watch, and it does it for me. But it's the average of your best 8 scores out of your last 20 is your handicap, and it factors in the like which tee you play, how hard the course is, whether it's easier or more difficult, the index and the rating of the course, all that stuff, and then it all gets averaged together. Yeah, I mean they do. It's a really complex system, but it's like essentially it's your best 8 out of 20. So people usually, I thought for a while too, it was just like your handicap would be like whatever you shoot on average, either close to par or over par, etc. So if you usually shoot like 100, then your handicap would be 30, but it's not really the case. It factors in more than that. Um, I believe it's 8 out of 20. Yeah. So handicap index is designed to represent your demonstrated ability. It is calculated by averaging the best 8 score differentials out of the most recent 20 with your scoring record. And I think I think they factor in, they want you to play full 18 holes for that. And I think maybe like 9 holes, if you don't have 18, it takes those. But if you do have the 18, I think it takes those over the 9. I'm not really sure, but I mean, you can easily mess with it if you're taking breakfast balls, or you're kicking the ball out. No mulligans, anything like that. So yes, sir. Well, I did seriously woke up and I was going to put my phone on the charger. At least in the notification, I tapped on it. Well, you can still watch. You can still watch it, Ziggy, and charge your phone at the same time. The song's definitely about Morgan throwing the chair off the rooftop. Hey, what's up with all these country singers having all kinds of issues? Best out of 8 out of 20. Like I know what a handicap is, but I guess I haven't gotten that good yet to even keep track of it. I did shoot 83 on a 60 last week. It's my guess game ever. That's a good score. Congrats on that. Morning. What's up, Bogeyman Bill? No, that's what I'm doing. Good morning, Bill. We always get a breakfast is mandatory. Yeah, no, I get it. I used to do that for a while too. But realistically, that's what I was saying about the handicaps. Like some people call them, they say they have a vanity handicap, so it's abnormally lower than what it really should be if you're like, and that also includes like, you know how people like if you're on the green, you have like a 5 foot putt, and they say, oh, that's a gimme, that's good. Like technically, if you're actually keeping a legit handicap, you need to putt everything out, no breakfast balls, no kickouts. You got to take drops where you should be, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Realistically, none of us are that good, anyways. Besides Seedrum, if he's still in here, but none of us are that good to where it really matters, anyways. It really only matters if you're playing for like like a competitive tournament for money or something like that. But um, if you have, I don't have like a legit handicap, meaning like I don't pay for it. They have the gin system, which is like $40 or $50 a year that you have to pay for to give you the official handicap. I don't pay for that. I just have, like I said, everything in my Garmin watch that tracks it for me. But even the gin system, you could just same thing when you're out there. All you do is you go into the computer in the clubhouse after and you put in your score. You could just easily add 5 strokes or take 5 strokes away if you really wanted to. Thank you, bro. I was an executive, so it ran twice. I was playing with a buddy who started, so I think he's beginner luck. Really matters. We get the day off to enjoy the beautiful weather and swing your heart out. Yeah, I mean it's not that serious. They say I like the saying is the vast majority of us are not good enough to get that mad and that frustrated. So um, you just don't want to be the person that's angry, slamming clubs, that kind of person. Because one, you're not doing yourself any favors, and two, if you ever played with someone like that, usually they're not very good, and two, it kind of brings the mood down for the entire group. So just don't be one of those people, and just enjoy it. None of us are turning pro anytime soon, so it ain't that serious. I'm afraid my buddy does start getting better. He's super competitive. I know once he learns, he can't be tapping the ball off the tee. Actually, believe it or not, if it's that actually doesn't count. That's happened a few times, like on the PGA Tour. If you accidentally hit the ball, so like unintentionally, it actually doesn't count. I know everyone always says, "Oh, that's one," and they make a joke out of it, but that's actually in the rule book to where if it's unintentional, it doesn't count. Yeah, there's weird. I mean, you have to look up all the rules. There's like I don't know. There's probably like a 10-page book with all the rules. There's kind of some funky ones in there, but yeah. If you do it on accident, it actually doesn't count. Same thing, like so, like if you're like taking a practice swing and you're not like legitimately addressing the ball to hit it, if you accidentally hit it, there's a couple of videos out there on with like PGA Tour pros that do it on accident. Um, it doesn't count. However, if you happen to line up to the ball like you're taking a shot and you swing and whiff and completely miss, that does count. Tell me two things in less than 10 minutes definitely deserve a follow. Well, apparently you got low standards over there, Spilly. It's only on the tee, I believe. Yeah, I don't know, Bill. I don't know. You would think if it's I think it's all shots. If you're like if you like if you're taking a practice swing in the fairway, I think it's the same thing. Like if you're not, like I said, the caveat being like intentionally addressing the ball with the intent of actually hitting a shot. If you're just like, granted, it's kind of hard to do that in the fairway. Like usually they take a step back for a reason, but I'm pretty sure it's every shot. But I don't know. Maybe you may be right with just the tee. What else? What else are some other common golf misconceptions? Trying to think. Some of these live streams we do like trivia. There's there's some wonky things that you wouldn't think would be the case that they are. Made my bed, I woke up and it's messy. What are you doing? Doing gymnastics in your sleep? I have a question. What's up? Those aren't standards, just knowledge. Well, who knows? Maybe you have to double check me. I could be speaking nonsense over here. Maybe I'm just lying. I enjoy the game a lot, so I like to learn a lot about it. Yeah, I mean it's addicting. I'm definitely fully addicted. It's one of those things where you play your entire life, and golf, they say, is a game of misses. So um, there's no such thing as perfect. Literally, the only way you could ever be perfect is if you get a hole in one on every single hole, which is literally impossible. So there's always something to work on, always something to improve on. Um, and even the pros, believe it or not, there's pros, multiple pros that have said the same thing to where on like an 18 hole round, there's maybe one, two, or three shots at the most where the ball actually goes like the shot shape they want. Basically, if they envision the shot, there's only usually one to three shots per round, if that, where they actually do exactly what they were trying to do. So it's just a game about managing misses, and it's not about how good your good swings are. It's about how bad your bad swings are, if that makes sense. I can see, look at my setup, I know. But you gotta check out the other videos too. I have now I have this just for putting. I have set up in the garage with the simulator, and I have a simulator net and set up in the backyard as well. We are addicted, that's for sure. When you're in golf, do you have a coach or manager? You're talking about pros? Um, I mean, I've never taken a lesson. I definitely don't have a manager, but uh, yeah, if you're like professional golfers you're talking about, there's a few that are completely self-taught. Like I believe Bubba Watson, completely self-taught, and there's a few others. But yeah, most people they have like a swing coach like on their team, and yeah, I'm sure like they probably have multiple. They probably have a business manager. They probably have assistants to uh to schedule everything and like one thing that I didn't know for a while is all the professional golfers on the PGA Tour, which is why Live was kind of a big thing, but all the golfers on the PGA Tour are considered independent contractors. So they need to they need to pay for and kind of like arrange and handle all of their like travel and accommodation stuff. So like if they're going to a tournament, they need to schedule, pay for their flights, and they need to schedule and pay for their own hotel as well. Versus something like basketball or football, like you have a team playing and like the team puts you up in a hotel, all that kind of stuff. Golf can be a solo game unless you want to get better and pay some money. You can get a coach. Always down to support people. Yeah, they make all the money that goes to them. The downside is they pay for everything. Yeah, I mean that's why it's brutal. Like they call them like mini tours of the people that are trying to qualify. So the people that are like right on the cusp, like semi-pro, people that are right on the cusp of like trying to make it big time. Um, it's a struggle. They need to get a lot of those guys need to get sponsored from people to be able to afford it, which is kind of crazy. So they're getting like sponsorship from like sometimes family friends to be able to pay for all the registration fees for the tournaments, all the travel expenses, all that kind of stuff. What do I think about Live? Um, I don't know. I don't have any groundbreaking opinions. I don't think. Um, I don't know. They do some stuff right. They do some stuff wrong. Selfishly, I would like to see all of the best players in the world playing the same tournament, same course, like it kind of used to be, all at the same time. Versus now, it's kind of basically like if you equate it over to the NFL, it would be like the NFL, and then like now like NFL 2.0. So you got half the best players in one league, half the best players in the other. Um, to me, I don't know. I've only watched like two or three live events maybe. To me, it's not the same as true competitive golf between the shotgun start only the 54 holes. The fact that with Live, they all are signed to contracts and they have guaranteed money. So all of their winnings, if they like win the tournament, they actually don't necessarily get that money on Live. It gets taken out of their contract first, and they basically need to win and play through their amount of their contract, and then anything over that they get paid. So it's kind of like they're removing some of the competitive aspect of it. Obviously, those guys still want to play well and win. They're all set for life money wise. But to me, if you're playing for a $20 million purse and the winner doesn't actually really get that, it's kind of already part of their contract. It kind of, I don't know, kind of dilutes it a little bit. I tried to get a pin on a live yesterday and got reported. What does that mean, Ziggy? A lot of people were so hurt about the guys going for money, but at the same time, bro, if I go after that kind of money, I'm thinking future. Yeah, I mean, that was a problem when they already guaranteed money. That's why people didn't like it because most beat the competitive aspect. Yeah, I mean, you're lying to yourself. Even someone like John Rahm, for what, a year or two, was saying, I'm never going to Live, can't stand those guys, and then he goes. But you're lying to yourself if you're getting $100 million contract and you're not going to seriously think about it. If not, literally just take it as soon as you got offered. Like that's enough to set up, like they call it generational wealth. Like you, your kids, your grandkids, like multi generational type of money. And those contracts aren't even that long. So like if you think about it, guys like that, like they do that one contract and then literally for the rest of their life, they want the competitive aspect, but literally for the rest of their life, they're completely set and they can just go play with their friends and family every single day after one contract, like one 3 to 5 year live contract, and then they can literally just go and do whatever they want for the rest of their life. So I certainly don't. You can't blame anyone for taking the money. It's just from like a fan's perspective and like the overall game, it's probably not the best thing in the world. Guys that didn't want to go, didn't want to ruin the face of the PGA. The kids would feel, yeah, kids would feed your kids with money. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was a dumb period where like there was that feud going on with like Rory and he became like the face of the PGA and they were like talking poorly and there was all beef and now I don't know if that merger ever went through, if that's still in negotiations, but then they like joined forces, so now I don't know if that went through or not, but they're going to be essentially under the same company. Um, I don't know. It's a big cluster, you know what. Yeah, Bryce's kids, been working off his money. Could be. Broncos still a team? Yeah, Denver Broncos, they're still a team. They actually did decent this year. They made it to the playoffs. I think they lost in the wild card. Bo Nix, rookie quarterback, had a pretty good season. Sean Payton's over there now as the head coach. They play in, they call it Mile High Stadium because of the altitude. All the field goals notoriously go way longer up there at the altitude. Same way, works the same as golf. If you go play like high up in the altitude, up in the mountains in Colorado, the ball goes way further. versus playing somewhere at sea level. How about them Giants? Well, Giants are. I'm a. I'm in New England, so I'm a Patriots fan, diehard Patriots fan. So Giants are doing about as good as the Patriots these days. Danny Dimes over there. I think you guys didn't want to pay Saquon. That could come back to bite you. You guys did steal a couple Super Bowls though from us. 18-1. Yeah, we don't want to talk about it. Stupid helmet catch with what was that guy's name? I want to say Tyreek. I don't know if it was it something, was Tyreek his last name? No, I'm talking about that like 40, 50-yard catch off the helmet. Scrolling through lives, you seen a woman with a beard and a mustache? Oh boy. I also have a beard and a mustache, but you can't see it right now. Brandon Tyreek? Is it something like that? What's that guy's name? Miss Eli. Do you watch came for no 4 star, do Super Bowl? Do you watch the Manning cast at all? I watched like 5 minutes of one week, but Peyton and Eli, Belichick was on there this year. The Monday Night Football simulcast stream. Not gonna lie, you got a long beard. Yeah, C. Jones been talking trash about my short beard lately, so I think I may just let it grow for the next 6 months. Get a real caveman type of beard going. David Tyree, that's what it was. I don't know why Tyreek. I had that in my head. But yeah, that's what it is. Spill, you keep up with the NBA? That was wild. Wild last night with Luca and Anthony Davis. It was a crazy trade. Watch the clips, they're hilarious. Belichick is so funny. Yeah, Belichick, people say that like he used to obviously like all of his press conferences he would do, he just would say like 2 word answers and like we're focusing on the game, on to next week, do your job, all that kind of stuff. But people that know him say he's like one of the funniest people they know. I don't know how to spell these names. Belichick was close. Yeah, Luka to the Lakers. It's crazy. That's one of the biggest trades probably in the past like decade. To look at my new name, Ziggy to Skibbity. I don't get that whole Skibbity stuff. I'm too old for that. Want to hear from the outside? Luka's probably the best baller, huh? I mean, he's definitely one of the best players in the league, that's for sure. He's only 25 too. He's only 25 years old. AD's like in his 30s. Um, yeah, I mean, Luka is going to be definitely generational talent. He's going to still be all-star caliber, you would think, for the next decade, which kind of makes you scratch your head why the Mavs would get rid of someone like that. But who knows? That was a generation behind. Lakers might have a decent year. I mean, apparently LeBron's going to play until he's like 80 years old, so. Yeah, he's 25. He was like really young. He was playing like overseas when he was like 15, 16 years old. And he's already been in the league for a few years. He's only 25. Like he was really young when he got drafted. But I did look up. So like if you look up, they do that in the NFL too in terms of like contracts. Sometimes you see like really good players that are on the last year of their contract. They get traded for like a third round pick or whatever. I think Luka has one more. He has the rest of this year, I think, one more full season, and then he has a player option, which means he can decide or not if he wants to play for that or negotiate a new contract. And I think Anthony Davis has like 4 or so years left on his contract. So like from like the Mavs standpoint, you're getting someone that's also all-star caliber, generational type of talent, and you have him locked in for a lot longer versus Luka, you only have him for another year, maybe two, and then he's an unrestricted free agent, so he could decide to just leave. But I'm older than this man. You know how the NFL have Super Bowl? LeBron's on his third clone. Yeah, I don't know how that guy's still doing it. Probably helps them when you spend like $1 million a year on conditioning and recovery and all that stuff. But still. What's the Super Bowl in the NBA called? NBA Finals. You got the World Series in baseball. You got the Stanley Cup in hockey. You got the NBA Finals in basketball. You got the Super Bowl in football. Golf doesn't really have anything like that. Like they have majors, which are like the biggest tournaments of the year, and then I guess they have they call it like the Tour Championship, like the FedEx Cup. But that's not really the same. You get the money to stay top tier in every aspect of the body. Still though, I mean, there's only so much though. Like you think about LeBron, he's out there, what, 40 years old, almost 40, however old he is, 40 years old, playing against people literally half his age. Like you can spend as much money as you want, but at a certain point, he's still got 40-year-old knees and joints and 20 plus years of basketball injuries that have compiled over time versus someone that's 20 years old just out of college that he's playing against. So it is impressive. Yeah, the Masters. I would probably agree with that. I mean, I think that's probably I usually catch some of the other ones, but like the Masters is definitely like the one tournament out of the year where like I kind of clear my schedule and I watch almost the entire 4 days start to end. So I would agree with that. But the fact that they have what three other majors on top of it, plus they have like the Ryder Cup, which is cool every 2 years. Do you think it's necessary to trade players? Not help the player that you're trading to get better? Um, I don't know. There's a lot to that. players can kind of force a trade now. They can ask to be traded. Sometimes they like Jimmy Butler's been holding out because he wants to get traded and you get fined. Sometimes it's on the player, sometimes it's on the team. Um, if you're paying someone $50 million a year and they're not playing well and they have a bad attitude and causing issues in the locker room, I don't know. There's a lot that goes into it. Hey, what's up, Stroke Swing Golf? How's the knee? Knee's better. I actually forgot. I forgot my knee brace. But I'm not really doing much. It has been getting better over the past few days. I don't know if that's just it would have done that anyways. I think it feels like maybe I was taking some swings the past couple days. Maybe moving it a bit more helped. Um, but we're on like day 10, and it's still swollen somehow. 10 days out, but it's definitely significantly better than it was like last week. It kind of loosens up throughout the day. I take Advil too, but the way it feels right now, I would say I'm probably at about 60% maybe. Um, Last night, towards the end of my live stream, I was trying to hit some more fuller pitching wedges, and I said I felt like I was at like 75, but I think that was probably because it loosened up, and maybe I was being a little overzealous last night, so I probably maybe feel a little bit more sore today. It's just like it doesn't feel like it's gonna give out. Like it's not my ACL, which is good. Definitely like a severe hyperextension in my MCL, which is on the inside. Doesn't feel like like just walking around it's gonna give out, but like I can't do anything. Like I can't run. I can't even like if I were to bend down and like bend my like squat down to like pick up this ball, I just can't. I can't bend that far. Like so, like the range of motion is an issue. You can only bring a horse to water, can't make him drink. That's a good point. Your knee just popped. What's good, bro? What's up, Michael the Boss? How did I hurt it? Basketball last Thursday. So a week ago from 3, 4 days ago, whatever. Um, I think unfortunately my basketball days are probably behind me, but it's kind of like a fast break 1-on-1 going to the basket, and I was kind of like gathering, getting ready to almost jump stop to go up, and just that pressure of running full speed, my knee just crumbled. It did like a zigzag. I heard it crack, and had to get helped off the court. But all things considered, I don't think I did like compared to like an ACL and like a torn meniscus and multiple ligaments and all that stuff. Fortunately, I don't think it's anything like that. So could be worse. Why does this happen to me? I'm only 12. Growing pains. How am I supposed to make it to the Masters now? Well, that was never in the cards anyways, but I'm just looking forward to being able to like swing driver full again and not have the worry of my knee in the back of my head for every single swing I take. We'll get there though. I'm chasing C drum on driver ball speed this off season. We'll see if I can add some speed once my knee gets back to 100%. My goal is by the time beginning of this season comes around, so like May, June-ish time frame around there, trying to be my goal is to be low to mid 160s on driver ball speed. Whether I get there or not, I don't know. But worst case, I would think I would be mid to high 150s if I don't quite get there. So Shoot for the stars, land on the clouds, so they say. A football game tomorrow. It's gonna be 100 people there. That's a lot. You have a football game in this weather? Yeah, I mean they're still playing. Super Bowl's next week. What position? Wide receiver and running back. Dual threat. Sucks, man. I have shoulder issue. Sublocated in football back in 2012. I'm winding the club up. It doesn't feel too swell. That sucks. That's why I feel like I was saying I think my basketball days are done because you get hurt, something like this makes you realize that basketball is definitely like my second favorite kind of like activity, something like physical to do, but golf is definitely number one. So I'd be beyond devastated if I happen to this knee injury happened to be a lot worse to where like I never could swing the club quite the same again. So I just don't think it's worth it. Golf takes priority. We used to play every position until I messed up my ankle. Now I'm healed. Yeah, I mean like 3 years ago, I still it's still not even right. Like it still clicks and cracks and it's not very stable. I much more severely than even this knee injury. I really, really messed up my ankle. I'm not a big doctor person, but it was definitely a grade 3 ankle sprain, and I'm pretty sure I broke my ankle on top of it. Like my entire up until like the back of my knee, all this, my entire foot up my calf was all black and blue. It was brutal. So like even basketball up until last week, I would have to wear two pretty heavy duty ankle braces on both both ankles, and if I were to go back, it would have to be two ankle braces and two knee braces. And at that point, that's probably my body telling me should probably give it up. I had to sit out for a month. Last day playing football, that sucks. Sometimes it goes like that, right? I only play football at recess now, 13 years later. Yeah, I'm sure I'll probably cross the bridge eventually. Like I said, like my ankle, it's still like cracks and it's not right. Um, Definitely broke it and it didn't get set. So I didn't go to the doctor. I didn't get it set correctly, so it probably didn't heal correctly. I'll probably cross the bridge in the future to where it'll really, really stop bothering me. Maybe another 10 years down the road or whatever, and I'll probably have to get surgery on it eventually, I would think. But something like golf versus like basketball, I mean, especially football, but even basketball, like things can just happen on accident. Like you go up for a rebound and completely on accident, you come down. That's how I messed up my ankle. You go up for a rebound, you jump up and you come down, you land on someone's foot, stuff like that. Or even like my knee the other week, it was like they call it a non-contact injury. It wasn't like a dirty play or anything. It's just like you're much more likely to have stuff like that happen versus something like golf. Obviously, no contact, but you can golf, you're in way more control. So you can control whether you swing hard, swing soft, that kind of stuff. A lot less likely to do any kind of serious damage. You say it's better to break something than pull it. A severe sprain, yeah, I know, because that it's just like almost permanently weakened. Unfortunately, I think I did both on my ankle. Maybe I'll post. I sent it to Seadrum. It's pretty gross. I took some pictures. That was in I think 2021, 2022 with my ankle. Maybe I'll post it in the Discord if you guys want to see it, but it's pretty nasty. Literally, my right foot and my right ankle was twice the size of my left, and it turned completely black and blue. Give it a few years, everything will go snap, crackle, pop. Every move sounds like a bowl of Rice Krispies. Just got to keep moving. If you don't use it, you lose it, so they say. I got hurt because I was being slow through the middle instead of the outside. Went through 2 holes instead of 6. What's your Discord? Hosel Rocket Golf. Trying to work on my channel. I've been posting shorts daily for 5 days now. Question for you is when did you start? And what do you do it for? I've been like 2.5 years. It was like May. I started like May or June of 2022. So I guess in a couple months it'll be three years. Um, let me see. I think I can subscribe. Looks like you have some shorts that did pretty well. You got one at 10,000, 5,000, 2,700, 3,000, 2,300. I just did it though because I play a lot of golf, so I figured I might as well do something with it. Past games, quarterback's been throwing the ball in the middle, not to the right or left. It's always on the side. Sometimes I cut into the middle. How much TDs? Jeez, I just saw a Twitter notification. Numerous passengers were evacuated after United Airlines plane after it caught fire during takeoff. What's going on with these planes, man? Craziness. 67 touchdowns? Randomly popping off. It's been fun. I like to make these videos. Oh, I thought you were talking about the. I like to make these videos for my future self, for my daughter, seeing when she's older. That's awesome. I thought you were talking about for a second. I started reading that. I thought you were talking about the plane crashes popping off. I was like, yeah, I mean that's one way to put it. That's so sad though. Between the one in DC where like 70 people died, and luckily, I mean luckily, but fortunately it happened like over the Potomac River to where it didn't come down like the one in Philly did. And I think that's up to like 10 people that got killed, unfortunately. No survivors in either one. And the one in Philly the other night, poor girl was from, it was like a younger girl. She was getting life-saving treatment, and she finally, I guess, got things kind of figured out. She was flying back to Mexico on a medical plane, and it went down after like 30 seconds of takeoff. Yeah, I dropped you a follow. Anyone in here, go follow Spilly. I subscribed. JK23. Only had 3 TDs last season. I don't get. I think there's something wonky going on with YouTube. Like it shows that there's 3 people in here. There's more than 3 people even talking, and I'm in here too. So I don't know what the deal is as of late. Doesn't make any sense. Heard that's so sad. Yeah, I know. Crazy times. Yeah, 2 people. I don't get it. I mean, I'm one of them. 2 people. I mean, maybe there's only 4 people, but still, like 2 people obviously isn't right. Now it shows 4. Yeah, it goes up and down. Dorico's here. What's up, Dorico? I don't know. Nothing I can do about it, but there's been some wonkiness between notifications not going out, um, YouTube not pushing any of the streams, meaning like not showing it to people, and then also like my thumbnails not showing up. That shows like a grayed out box, which Phil from McGolfin TV was saying last night. Not that I expect to have 10,000 people in here, but like just randomly, there's times where there's like over 100 people in here, and then there's other times when there's like 2, which to me, you would think you would find a middle ground somewhere in between. Good chat. Keep up with you, bro. Good energy. Have a great day, man. You too. Maybe more hashtags. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird even that, Dorico. Sometimes you do stuff and sometimes it works, and then you do the same thing again and it doesn't work. So it's tough to kind of draw any conclusions one way or the other. Um, and although I don't have hashtags in the title, I have them in the description. So I have, like, it still shows up as golf, golfer, golf swing. So I don't know. To me, I figure out it comes down to whether YouTube is feeling generous or not, and they wanna show it to people or not. I mean, the fact that like this one notification went through, but over the past couple days, there's been streams where I literally don't even get a notification that I went live on my own channel. So how is that possible? And how are people going to be able to watch and know about it if they don't know I'm live? I practice save. I got a day off. You gained 22 subs. Nice. I guess at the end of the day, what I can do is just keep blaming C-Drum for everything that goes wrong. Seems like a easy way out. Seems to be working as of late. And I figured yesterday, that's why I came on a little bit earlier. I know people are still doing stuff on the weekend, they're busy and whatnot, but yesterday, that random club challenge, there was like no one in there. Granted, I did it like Saturday evening, which people are out and about doing stuff, so it's not the best time. But yeah, I don't know. No real rhyme or reason. I wish um, they don't like the YouTube analytics doesn't really tell you anything. So like you can't really like run a test and like like compare like two videos of like what caused a video to do better than the other or worse than the other between like the title, the hashtags, the thumbnails. There's some metrics you can look at, but it's kind of random and there's not a whole lot that you can kind of look at and start changing things one way or the other. At least that I know about. I had a hashtag for Crocs. So I didn't scroll down on the chat. I have notifications on, but I haven't been getting notifications. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Other people have said the same thing. And like me, I have like my personal account on my phone, and I have like I'm subscribed to my Hosel Rocket Golf channel, and like I was saying, I don't even get uh, notifications on my on my account. So there's something I don't know what it is. There's something going on though. Accidentally left the chat. It's wild. Probably make an edit today and post it. Make sure you watch it. Well, I'm subscribed, so I should be able to see it. Go outside to practice for the season? Too cold to go outside here, unfortunately. So you made a lot of videos daily. Sometimes it's something, part of the reason for your notifications. Yeah, I think it could be. I was saying that earlier. I think I've been going live pretty much every single day, um, and posting stuff. So I think it's happened before. I did a kind of a test period where I was posting like multiple shorts, a few months ago, multiple shorts every single day, and I think uh, it's weird because they want you to go live and they want you to make content and all that kind of stuff. So like it seems like they punish you if you don't post enough, but then they also punish you if you do too much. But I feel like as of late, it's happened before to where when I was doing the testing, it worked for a while with a bunch of shorts, like they were all getting some decent views, and then all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, they just basically turned the faucet off, and I think I probably got labeled as uh like temporarily labeled as like spam, so I think it's like me trying to like game the system if I had to guess. But again, that's just like me guessing. There's no real. See you guys will join later. See ya. There's no real definitive evidence of that. So what I do is I just keep doing my thing. Post every 2 days. Yeah, maybe I'll take a couple days off. Keep on keeping on, Joe Dirt. You guys got anything exciting going on today? I have my big news is I have 5 pairs of heavy duty wool socks getting delivered today from Amazon. That's my big news. I'm gonna try to go to bed earlier tonight. I had a ran some errands yesterday. I had a large iced coffee from Dunkin' Donuts at like 2, 3 o'clock p.m. So I was up kind of late last night. I say the lights are triggering my ADHD. I mean, like I was staring at it for too long. When I see something, I stare at it too long. Nothing going on. I feel ya. As you get older, you get excited about new socks. Well, especially, I mean, yeah, new socks are nice, but especially the fact that I've been testing out some different type of socks for the garage because it's so cold out there. But it seems like I bought some of those. They call them like thermal socks, but they don't quite keep my feet quite as warm versus more like heavy duty hiking winter boot type of socks. So I got 5 pairs of those coming. We'll see next time I'm out in the garage if they keep my feetsies a little bit warmer. Cleaning laundry and dishes here, maybe golf later. I have thermals. Yeah, I mean, so they call them like thermal socks, but I don't know. They just don't seem as good as like old-fashioned kind of merino wool type of heavy duty, heavy weight, whatever they call them, socks. But yeah, I wear every time I'm out there, I have multiple layers on. Like I wear thermal base layers, so I have thermal leggings on underneath my pants, and then I have a t-shirt, a thermal long sleeve shirt, and then usually that fleece lined flannel that people make fun of me for looking like a lumberjack. But that thing is just, it's so warm and it stretches a little bit so I don't feel as restricted. And the fact that it has the buttons around my wrists to keep it away from like when I'm swinging the club to get in the way. The other day I was wearing that gray Under Armour sweatshirt and the sleeves were a little bit stretched out. So like every swing I kept like raising my arms up to kind of pull the sleeves up. Every swing the sleeve kept getting stuck between, I have a watch on my left hand, between like the watch, my glove, the club, and like my hand. It kept kind of like snagging on it and grabbing it. Not very comfortable. I still think a small space heater would help. You can even point it at your feet. So I did, Dorico, I did get I have a propane heater out there now. Um, Last Thursday, so not like this past Thursday, but the Thursday before was the first day I tried it out. I only tried it for one day, and then I messed my knee up. But the past couple days, uh, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday when I was out there, I was using the propane heater, which does help. It doesn't heat like the entire space, so it doesn't bring like the garage up to like 50 degrees, let alone like 70 degrees. But like Bill was saying, it basically works as an infrared heater, so it heats objects, meaning like my body. It heats objects a lot more than it does like the surrounding air. So that has been helping. Thermal leggings and thermal long sleeve. I don't want these next like 4 months to just disappear, but I am greatly looking forward to springtime to where it's like 60, 70 degrees in the garage, even 80 degrees, and I can be out there in shorts and a t-shirt, get a little bit of a sweat going, swing the club quicker, ball goes further, muscles stay loose. Insulate the metal door, make a big difference. I can't hear the word propane without thinking Hank Hill saying propane accessories. Yeah, I was never a big fan of what was that, King of the Hill or whatever. I'm not a big cartoon guy. Does my neck hurt when I go outside? Not necessarily when it's cold. Also keep it cooler in the summer. It's really not that big of a deal. I know I kind of probably seems like I complain about it a lot and whatnot, but it's kind of more so just something to talk about. But it's really not that big of a deal. I'm fortunate to be able to have the setup the way I have it and be able to go out there pretty much whenever I want and hit balls and whatnot. So if it's a little bit cold now, it's a little bit hot in the summer, so be it. Honestly, I would have kept sticking it out, but you guys kept nagging me to get the propane heater. I probably wouldn't have even have got one. You get to the point where you just kind of get acclimated to it and you know, all right, it's going to be cold, so insulating the door sounds like a good idea for year-round benefits. Yeah, I just don't know how much that will do. Take Bill's word for it that it helps a lot, but I just don't know the fact that the entire rest of the garage isn't insulated. I don't get it. People when it's cold, we have the heater on. When it's hot, we have the fan on. Pick a struggle. It's true. Just trying to constantly find like that 70-degree temperature year round. I'd rather be cold than hot. It's easier to warm up. Hate being miserably hot. I'm the complete opposite. I'd rather be profusely sweating. That's why I was saying I don't want to go crazy with like building out everything, especially even like the insulation made me think of it because I do ideally I'd like to move down to Florida because I would much rather put up with the severe heat for a couple months out of the year and then like around here there's probably 3, 4, sometimes even 5 months out of the year where it's just too cold and kind of miserable to go outside. Versus Florida, you have like 3, 4, 5 months where it's brutally hot, but then the rest of the year it's like perfect. So I'd much rather have a stretch of period where it's 100 degrees and brutally hot and humid versus here where it's 15 degrees out with snow on the ground. At least if it's hot, you can still do stuff outside and find ways to cool yourself off. Versus here, like snow on the ground and whatnot. It's been raining a little bit, so most of the snow's gone away. But like, I can't go and like play around a golf on course if I wanted to. Door's a big heat sink. Transfer the heat from one side to the other quickly. Well, mine's not metal though, so maybe that reduces it a little bit. Mine's not. It's not a metal door. I get what you're saying though with the metal heat sink. They do that stuff with laptops too to dissipate, soak up the heat, that kind of stuff. The garage door itself is like some kind of like plasticky vinyl type of material, which clearly doesn't do a very good job of either keeping it hot or cold. So it probably still works similar, but rather be hot because you don't have to wear a coat. You want to move to Detroit? I want to move as far from family as possible. Well, most of my family, probably 90% of my family is up here, but I do have some family down in Florida. I can still go back and forth. But like I looked up this morning where I go and visit Florida, kind of like the Orlando area and the villages, like I try to go twice a year. It was like 67 degrees earlier, like a couple hours ago, and it was going to get up to like 79 or something, which is pretty nice. Versus here, it's 20 degrees. Two family members in Detroit. Give me a second. I'll go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. All right, we're back. You didn't get why people get old? Well, there's nothing you can do about it. Far from being old. I mean, your joints and stuff crack and whatnot. You probably have because you're growing. Father Time is undefeated, as they say. Give it another 20 years. All right, I think I'll go for another 15 or 20 minutes or so. Call it a day. Another kind of dud stream as far as views go, unfortunately. But it's always fun seeing what you guys are up to. Going back and forth with you guys. Ideally, perfect world, I'd have like 100,000 views on all these streams and be able to still talk to you guys at the same time. Mom says I'm tall, but not really that tall. I mean, most people, you're still going to grow probably for another 8 years, 6, 8 years. Most people aren't done growing until they're like 18, 20 years old. How tall is your dad? Probably end up being pretty close to his height. I'm 5'8" and you're still growing. All your uncles are 6 foot and taller. Yes, I mean, pretty good chance you'll be also 6 foot or taller. 6 foot to 6'5". Yeah, exactly. You'll probably be 6 foot or taller. Sounds like it's probably in the cards for you to be about 6'2", 6'3". Unless your mom's really short. Hey, what's up, Jonathan? Any news on the Square update? Oh, well, I'm not sure if I need one. I think you do need one. Um, no updates as of late. When was that? So that was probably like uh about 3 weeks ago or so when that big update came out. We're getting to the territory around the period of time where there could be another one coming. They've been putting them out every like 2 to 4 weeks or so. I'm hoping that the next one, I think they absolutely nailed this latest one. Between the TP5 balls, the firmware, the operating system, they increased accuracy. It seems like they fixed the ball speed, although there was another person in here the other night saying that he tested his square against the PGR, PRGR, whatever, and also the GC Hawk overhead, which is like really, really good. I think that was the unit, and his was consistently 2 to 3 miles an hour slower on ball speed, sometimes upwards of 5. And he thought his yardages were like 15 yards short. So I don't know if it's like an individual unit by unit basis, possibly, depending on the batches they did. But no news yet. What's the Square update? The launch monitor I have, Ziggy. It's called the Square Golf launch monitor. Golf thing on the projector. Yeah, pretty much. It's like the unit that sits behind me that registers what the what the ball does when I hit it. But yeah, I think you need one. I'm hoping though, maybe this week. We'll see. It seems like you would usually come out with an announcement or news in the Facebook group right around Sunday. So maybe sometime this week, if it doesn't happen today, maybe by next Sunday, I'm hoping that they come out with an update of adding club head speed. That's really the only thing it's lacking and missing. Um, to me, they knocked it out of the park with the TP5s. So, in my opinion, as far as like accuracy goes and whatnot, it's really really good and near perfect. I don't know. I'm sure still continuously fine tune things and whatnot, but I think they probably got it about 90% as good as it's going to get. And if they just add club head speed, it would be huge. That'd be nice to have club head speed. Yeah. Right? Would you agree with that, Bill? I feel like that's really the only thing it's missing. Like, I don't think there's any real, um, any issues, any big issues with accuracy or anything. They've come a long way in the past couple months. Not that it wasn't even bad out of the box, but um, did you find so that guy? I think his name was Steve. I saw he was in Triple Bogey's stream last night too, and he said the same thing that he would bend his unit to compare two squares next to each other. Did you did you notice anything crazy as far as ball speeds being lower when you've done the Garmin versus the square? Because that was always Ben's when he did the comparison. That's why it leads me to believe maybe unit by unit basis, because he updated his completely and was using TP5s when he still had the Garmin R50 and the MLM2 Pro, and it was consistently 2 to 3 miles an hour slower. But then someone like Joe Legowski, when he's comparing it against the GC3, it was spot on. And if anything, from what I noticed, there was a couple shots where the square was actually faster on ball speed. So tough to draw any definitive conclusions, in my opinion. Autocorrect does not work well on live club speed. A little more accurate club data and spin rate would be perfect, but happy with it as it is. Club speed GS Pro would give you the smash factor as well. Yeah, all smash factor is you just divide the ball speed by the club speed. So obviously you need both of those to be able to do that. I see my friend's golf thing. He hit the ball hard and went slow on the projector. Would be interesting to see if any big difference. A lot of interference between the two units, though. Yeah, allegedly. I was talking with Ben. I don't know. Were you in there lurking last night, Bill? In Ben's live stream. I don't know if I saw you do a chat. I fell asleep watching it again, but I sent him a super chat for the Square testing fund. I mean, I'm the same as you guys. Like, I appreciate the content. I enjoy the stuff he does. So I gave him a super chat last night. But he said he was planning on tonight doing a head-to-head test if he can with the Pro T versus the Square. But I've heard Joe talk about that before, and apparently the infrared is really, really strong coming from the Pro T. So he said that he couldn't do it. But he also said that too previously about doing a head-to-head test with the GC3, and he got that to work. So possibly, I don't know, maybe something got interference issues, maybe it got fixed a little bit when they did this big update. But yeah, Ben said he's going to try tonight to do a head-to-head test with the Pro T versus the Square, which would be interesting. Shooting pool last night? Was you gonna say? Yeah, I know. But yeah, but like I said, so like J-Lag said that, but then he said that originally too. If you remember the first test he did with the GC3 versus the Square, he was having severe interference issues, so he did like a 10-shot grouping of one versus a 10-shot grouping the other versus hitting the same exact shot, having both units read it, and then now he's been able to get it to work. They work simultaneously, so I don't know. Feels like someone with the interference got fixed. Yeah, I agree. The problem is though you have two different units, so maybe the interference issues got fixed on the Square side, but now maybe the Pro T is going to have interference issues. So it's going to be kind of both. You know what I mean? Not just one. I don't know if it works to where higher end units throw off more infrared. It's more powerful. So maybe it comes down to the weaker, cheaper unit having more of the interference issues. But I don't know. Hopefully Ben, I mean, he's really smart. Hopefully he gets a way to figure out to test the overhead Pro T VX versus the Square tonight, which would be awesome. I'll definitely watch that. We have any guesses? Do you think the Square? What do you think? What do you think he'll find? Going on what I said about that guy Steve the other night. Um, do you think? Do you think this? Do you think his? Do you think it's more likely than not that there's slight variances between each individual Square unit, or do you think? Do you think the unit? Do you think the numbers are going to be really close, like JLag did with the GC3, or do you think his unit, the Square, will still be 2 to 3 miles an hour slower? I feel like you make more putts talking than being focused. Could be. I'll be tuning in. I mean, honestly, Ben said it last night, but it's the same thing. He said basically the streams are more about talking about golf, talking about simulators, kind of going back and forth with you guys versus watching him play golf, or for example, here watching me hit putts. That's kind of the secondary thing versus talking about golf and stuff. I think the differences may come down to the setup. That's true. So I didn't ask Steve. One thing I forgot to mention, if he had his unit raised up or not. I still have it up about 3/4 of an inch, which seems to help. It could be that kind of stuff. Um, Although Joe always has his same level completely flush with the ground in his hitting area, and he was getting really good numbers. So I don't know. I mean, it would make sense to me though, like I've been saying, it would make sense to where they had those issues with like the soldering or whatever inside with one of the batches. It could be something where they can't make every single unit 100% identical, especially with different batches. It could be something where the squares, even head to head, that's why that guy Steve was asking if he. I've never seen anyone compare two square units next to each other. It could be something where they're slightly different just in the batch. I think people overestimate the yardages as well. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm guilty of that too, somewhat. I mean, it's different. It's just not. It's not completely different. It's not like you hit your you hit your 7 iron 200 yards on course and you only hit it 130 in the sim. But it's just different. You're hitting off an artificial mat. Like for me, I'm indoors, still like stuff in my peripheral of like don't want to hit kind of stuff, indoor swing syndrome and whatnot. And on course, you can hit down into it a lot more, take a more substantial divot. You possibly have some upslope and downslope. You have wind, you have the humidity, nicer weather. Um, like for me, I'm out there and last night the garage was 30 degrees. Like the ball, no matter what you do, the ball's just not going to go as far when it's 30 degrees compared to when it's 80, 90 degrees in the summertime out on course or even on the sim. So it's going to be interesting to see for me once the weather gets warmer and it gets to be about 80 degrees in the garage, what kind of numbers I'm getting and go out on course. But like even me, like I knew I've been using the clubs that I have, the 770s and 790s now for a little more than a year. I think I got them last, I think 2023 in like November-ish. I got them. But it's not like it's not like I'm hitting a pitching wedge on the sim and then hitting like an 8 iron in real life. Like I'm hitting the whole point is with the sim to be able to hit the same clubs you're doing on course. So for me, it's never been uh, that far off. It was originally with the Garmin, and I don't know if you were in there, Jonathan, but I think it was Thursday night. Uh, First time swinging again, I dropped my altitude or elevation down in GS Pro. I was using 2,500 feet, which equates over to 5%. Same that I was using the 5% ball within the Square software. I was using that for the past like 2 months or so, 2 3 months, whatever. and I dropped it down to 0 based on Joe Legowski's tests where it was literally spot on with the GC3. So at the most, I think it's 5% one way or the other. At the most, at least for me and my setup. But I mean, none of us are robots. It comes down to maybe some days you're hitting it better than other days. So it's tough. It's not every single day you go out there. At least for someone at my skill level or probably your skill level, it's not like you go out there every single day and your clubs go the same distance every single day. Some days you're hitting it longer, some days you're hitting it shorter. What's up, dude? I don't know if you remember me. I was the guy that came in here talking about my putting yips and got the game figured out right now. I dropped from a 9 to a 5. Really? That's awesome. That must have been what? A few months ago, back in like October? I do remember something about the yips. I remember talking about that. Yeah, like October. I think I told you, if I remember correctly, I think I told you to get something like this and just hit 1,000 putts, I think, just to get over it. What'd you do? Did you do anything in particular that kind of got rid of it? Luckily, knock on wood, I've never had anything like that with golf. But seems like if you just hit a bunch of shots, if you have yips with actual shots or with putting, you just hit a bunch of putts and you eventually, it's more of a mental thing than anything, or it's 100% mental. But Greed started playing last year again after 25 years. Definitely not a robot. Yeah, tell me about it. So that's why it's just my point is, I guess, it's tough. It's tough knowing for sure. Like unless you have a unit like a GC quad type of unit next to you and you're on a driving range and you're hitting a shot, and I've seen videos where people literally they go into like a big open field, they hit the shot, and then they go and they put like a flag down right where the ball is, and then someone on the tee box that just hit the shot or wherever they're hitting from shoots it with a rangefinder. That's the only way to know for sure. And you can't use the square outside, so you can't do that. I'm hitting into a screen, so obviously you can't tell where the ball is actually going. It's just tough. I think the best you can do is why I always reference Joe Legowski and Ben at Triple Bogey Golf so much, is because they're comparing um, two units and higher end units at that head to head, the same exact time, same shot. That's pretty much as good as you can get as far as comparisons. Definitely gonna do that test with Square in the summer. People have posted on the Facebook group that they've been able to use it outside. I've seen a couple people now that they exclusively use it outside. They just need to figure out their shade situation. And again, I don't want anyone to go out and damage their square, but I asked Square before I ordered it. Before I even had the like any kind of plans of building out the garage. I asked them, and I went back and forth with them a couple times. A Square rep, who knows if they knew what they were talking about or not? You would assume so if they work for Square, but they told me that direct sunlight will not damage the unit. I repeat, it will not damage the unit. A lot of people say that it will. They told me that the sunlight will not damage the unit. However, you're going to have tons of issues in terms of having it read correctly, meaning like 2 out of every 15 shots will register. So you can take that for what it's worth. I tried outside, like a cloudy day, L. Bought a putting mat. Every time I head to the range, I went to the putting green first. I worked on speed and control. Go to the course on slow days and practice on the greens. It's a good way to get better or solve the yips. Just play more. What were you saying before then, Jonathan? You were saying, I don't know if I should get the square or not? What are you talking about? Sometimes I have a tough time keeping everyone straight of what unit they have, if they want a unit, they're planning on getting a unit, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I thought so. Didn't you? I thought you came in here before and you said, I'm scrolling up. Where was that? You said before, you said any news on the Square update? I want one, not sure if I need one. Oh, well, you were talking about the update, I guess. I guess I read that wrong. That makes more sense. So I was gonna say, I remember you said you looked at their connector and whatnot, and you were doing the code on it. I got it. I got it. That's on me. Because I remember you guys, but I have like 20 different people that come in here, and I'm trying to keep it straight. Like another guy, his name is like Toast. He made it even more confusing. He goes by his name's I think Perry Smith, and then he changed his username to Toast. And he has an X Putt, and he has a Garmin R10, and he wants a Square, and he's gonna order one. But I have sometimes I have a tough time keeping straight who has what and what they want and all that stuff. I read it the same way. Scroll up just before you did. Yeah, so it's all Jonathan's fault then. I'm just kidding. Because I remember the stupid stuff, like you said you were Swedish, and I was asking you if I was pronouncing your name right. And I remember you saying um, you did the test with the dry erase marker, which was really, really smart. You looked at the code for the connector and that type of stuff. I need to get a spreadsheet going, I think, of all these different usernames. I think we may need to have a Bogeyman Bill comparison YouTube video showing the numbers of, or even maybe just a spreadsheet showing the numbers of ball speed test between the Garmin R10 and the Square. Got it correct? Yeah, like I said, I try my best to try to keep everyone straight and remember people from what they said before. Um, it's not like I just read this stuff and just completely forget about what you guys said. All right, I think I'm going to wrap this up in about 5 minutes. So, any final comments, questions, concerns, put them in now or wait until next time. Anyone catch any of my the video I posted about the colliders? I feel like that's a useful tip. I don't know if a lot of people know about that. Colliders within GS Pro. Granted, I was live when that video got posted, but I don't know if my results. I don't know if any results would be valid. I don't have quite enough room for the R10 to work right. I was mainly after club speed. Yeah, I guess that's true. Even with a test like that, you don't know if it's, like you were saying before, it could be down to setup. I don't know. I just figure the more people that can do head-to-head tests, the more data kind of the community can get as a whole, the better, and people can go off it. I mean, I would do it too, but same thing with my. I can't even get the Garmin to work, and I'm only 6 feet from the white line in my hitting mat to the front of the screen, and I hit a lot of shots from like probably 6 inches in front of that. So I'm at like 5.5 feet from where I hit from to the screen, which isn't nearly enough for the Garmin anyways. even if I could get it to work without all the radar saturation interference nonsense. Yeah, barely 6 feet behind me, not quite 8 in front. I have room behind me to do it. It's just I guess I would have to cover all the concrete, and I just don't, it's not worth it. But yeah, I have the same issue of not enough room in front. The only way I could do it is at like dusk when the sun is almost completely down, take the square outside. But I mean, it's 20 degrees out with snow on the ground. I don't want to possibly do anything to mess up the square. I guess the most recent square news would be the fact that they actually came out with their own case. That was what, like last week? Did you guys see that? They finally came out with their official case for like $60, which doesn't seem very robust. Yeah, wait for the warmer weather on that. Looks like a cereal box. Yeah, I know. You could buy the same thing at Walmart. That's what I did at the beginning. It was like $7 at Walmart. It must be really difficult. They must be having a tough time getting club head speed. Otherwise, because they've been saying for what 2 months now, they're working on it and it's coming. They must be having a tough time figuring out how to do the club head speed. How they came out with that unit, anyways. I mean, it's an awesome unit, but how you can come out with a launch monitor without club head speed? How did it not come with club head speed out of the box? I thought I saw a post in December about them adding club head speed. Yeah, I've seen multiple posts over the past couple months. They keep saying that it's just coming in the future and they're working on it. That's about all I've heard. But it does seem like it's not like just people saying it though. It's like Square themselves saying that they're working on it, which is promising. But no timeline or anything. They just keep saying like, yeah, it's coming. You got to figure though from them. I don't know how big their team is. They're working on like for us with GS Pro or for me with GS Pro and like Boogeyman Bill and whatnot. We don't care about the software, so we're just concerned about the firmware and like the operating system of the unit itself. But those guys over there at Square, they're trying to do updates and make improvements for both the unit itself and the software at the same time. So they probably bounce back and forth. From a high handicap perspective, why is it that interesting? Like we have ball speed, I get it. I don't know if I hit the ball well or not. I know I get it. It's just the extra additional data point, which is good to know. So like for me, I'm going to be trying to get up to the ball speed, which is more important anyways. Like you can tell if you hit it well or not by the ball speed. But it is good to know how fast you're swinging it and how poor or how good your contact is. And I don't know, people usually judge about buying clubs or how good you are. A lot of times how far you hit it by club head speed. So my point was, I guess it's just every other. I don't know. I don't know if is there another is there another unit out there that doesn't have club head speed? That's like one of those main ones that's like a big selling point. Do you need it? No, but it would definitely be nice to have. I will I will trade them. I will send my swing stick back to them and they can have it if they give me club head speed. I'll trade the swing stick for club head speed. But you already know. As soon as they come out with club head speed, then it's going to open up a whole nother can of worms. The same thing that's going on with ball speed right now is people saying, "Well, I've used other units and I swing my driver at 110 and I'm only getting 105 or 100 with the square." So it's going to open up a whole nother can of worms of people saying, "Well, I swing it quicker. Square's reading my club head speed low." Must be hard to be a support at a launch monitor company. I know. Imagine all the emails they get on a daily basis between one, my unit doesn't even work, it doesn't register a shot, everything's short, the ball's not going as far, I'm getting no reads, I'm getting misreads, uh, the software sucks, the unit sucks. Like, I can't imagine they get too many emails saying, "Hey, I just wanted to thank you guys for putting out an awesome unit and how good it is." I always try to give those companies the benefit of the doubt and know that they're working on stuff behind the scenes that we don't know. So whether it takes another couple months to get the unit as good as it possibly can be, I feel like I'm probably more patient than some people to where, especially people that buy their first launch monitor and they expect it to be a GC quad out of the box day one for $700. I think some people have unrealistic expectations. Can't blame the launch monitor when I know my game sucks. It's a good point. Isn't that's up there in the rule book though for golf? Isn't that like rule number two to where if you hit a bad shot, it's never actually your fault, it's always something else? If I hit bad shots out in the garage, it's never actually me. I thought you guys already knew that, but it's never me. It's either my clubs are faulty, the unit's faulty, I have a bad mat. Um, I always hit it. I hit it 100% perfect every time. It's always outside factors that I can't control is why I don't hit good shots. I thought everyone was on the same page with that. It must be a misread. I will say though, I've had people like friends and family come over, and none of them have said like this is wildly off. I've kind of fine-tuned things to have it to where I feel like it's good, but like no one that's come over, granted, no one that's like a really really good golfer, but no one's come over and been like, "Wow, my 7 iron goes 150 and I'm hitting it 100" type of thing, or like my 7 iron goes 150 and I'm hitting it 200. Um, I do it in my mind before the shot. Yeah, so secret's out. I didn't actually even hurt my knee in the first place. I just been blaming my knee of why I've been playing so bad lately. It's all been an act. I remember at a place having an overhead unit, trust the square a lot more than that actually. Really? 7 iron used to go 150, not no more. Primetime golf season, I play my TaylorMade P770. I play it to about 180, 185 total, meaning like I don't know, I probably carry it 165, 170ish and account for like 10 yards of rollout or whatever. Sometimes, obviously, if you're hitting a green, not quite that much, but I'm not good enough to do carry numbers to where I'm landing it within a couple yard uh, dispersion. I usually just play total type of distances, but I know for a fact on course between shots that I've hit and seeing the result of it. And also, my Garmin S60 golf watch tracks every single shot I hit, the distance. So I know for a fact I've hit a handful of 7-irons that go low 190s, whether I caught a flyer or it was low spinning or whatever. But I know for a fact I can hit it that far. But obviously, those are like once in a blue moon type of shots, not every type of shot. Measure the square. It's a lot closer to TrackMan than the other unit. What's the other? What's the overhead? Unicore? Not sure what it is. Let me see if I can find it. It seems like most places with an overhead, from what I've seen, at least around here, they're almost all Unicores. The Pro T is still kind of new, so I doubt it's that. It could be the GC Hawk, or it could be that TrackMan IO, which is still pretty new. But if I had to guess, I'd give it like a 75% chance it's a Unicore. Those overhead Unicores have been out for a lot longer on the market. There's some other like smaller ones like the Wiz Eye or something. Derek at Rockstar Golf, I think, had one of those. But I think for the most part, it's like 5 years old. Yeah, I bet I can almost guarantee it's a Unicore then. All right, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Appreciate you guys tuning in like always. Extra shout out to the members. Boogeyman Bill Dorico was in here. C Drum was in here at the beginning. No Black Cloud today. Must be busy with the family, shoveling snow or whatever he's doing. I don't think any other members popped in, but granted, there's only 7 of them. Not sure about tomorrow. Like I said before, I should probably maybe take a day off. We'll see though. I always say that, and then I say I might as well do something. I kind of feel guilty not doing something, so we'll see. I gotta see. Well, I could probably tell you actually, based on what the forecasted weather's gonna be. If it's gonna be warmer any of these days, I'll definitely be in the garage. Let's see what we got for the extended forecast. Have a good one. Catch you on the next one. Thanks for stopping by, like always, Bill. Good luck if you go out there and play some golf. And I will be, as long as I'm awake, tuning in for live for Ben's stream tonight at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully he can figure out how to do the square versus the Pro T. And if I'm not able to catch it live and he's able to test it, I will 100% watch the replay on that and see if he can draw any conclusions. So today's a high of 30. It's only 26 out right now. Feels like 21. Tomorrow 42. Tuesday 44. Wednesday is going to be colder at 33. Thursday 45. So likely, definitely Tuesday and Thursday in the garage. We'll see about tomorrow. Unfortunately, it's pretty much just like mid to high 30s, it seems like, or sometimes even low 30s as a high, which means that's the highest it's going to get, which means it's probably going to be closer to like 25, 30 degrees. But, all right. See you guys on the next one.